Ladies and gentlemen, can I please have your attention?
This is my final MAFS-related interview.
What sort of villain gets that?
It's Australia's reaction. It's an
This
exclusive.
is an exclusive. That's hitting the cutting room floor, bro.
Caused a lot of drama and it never got aired. It just went nuts.
Hello and welcome back to Reality, the podcast where you can get all your reality TV goss and tea. I'm Selina, and unfortunately my partner in crime, Taku Chimwaza, is off sick again this week. But don't worry, I've got an amazing guest. We have Richard from this season of Married at First Sight. He is the oldest groom so far at 62 and was matched with Andrea. I cannot wait to start chatting to him. But before then, I just want to give you guys a quick little life update for those that are still following along with my journey. I have officially moved in with my boyfriend. Woo! My producer's like, woo! And yeah, things are going great. And like, I manifested my little dream house and with my dog and my cat and my partner now. So yeah, that's my little update. So we're going to get straight into the episode. We have a lot to get through today. And yeah, let's go. We have the bombastic, fantastic Mr. Richards. Welcome.
Thank you.
So good to have you here.
Yeah, it's good to be here.
Yeah, I've wanted
Good
to
to
chat
see
to you
you.
for a long
I
time.
wanted to chat to you for a long time
Really?
as well. Yes.
Stop.
I
You're
like
making
your
me
maps
blush
very
already.
much. I was kind of excited to meet Selina.
Tell me, how has life been post-show?
It's not quite post-show yet. You know,
Yeah.
still, here I am
Yeah.
today. So this is still
Yep.
going on. There's still the UK screening. There seems to be a lot of commentary going on still amongst the contestants and all that.
Yep.
But it's quietening down. So I feel like we are coming
Yeah.
out on the other side.
Yep.
And life has been, in the last month, fantastic.
Wow, that's
Yeah,
amazing.
Yeah, really good.
I just want to quickly go back because I remember I was quite vulnerable in one of the episodes of Back to Reality, and I shared that I had lost a lot of friends before going into MAFS
Yep.
and during the process of Married at First Sight. It's funny how everyone's on your side until something really good lands in your lap, and then slowly you start to see who your true friends are.
Yep.
And I remember posting that on my Instagram as a reel, and you were one of the first people to comment on it
that.
and express that you had gone through something similar.
Yep.
So how tell me about that if you're okay talking about it.
People just, I suppose people just vanished. You know what I mean? It's like, so you're off on the show and you're doing this and that. You just don't hear from them. There's no how you're going. It's
Yes.
like, are you all right? Are you
Yeah.
surviving? What's happening?
Yep.
Zero. Just like zero. And so you'd wait for 3 days. Okay, cool. And I was like, yeah, okay, I'm not going to be reaching out to anyone. I'll just see what happens. And I mean, when I was young, I had like that many friends. And as you get older, it kind of shrinks and shrinks and shrinks. You know, there's a whole sort of saying about that. And, you know, now my best friends are my 2 cats, you know, kind of thing. You know, sort of thing, yeah.
Yeah.
But when I left my wife 7 years ago, we were married for 28 years. I lost a lot of friends then as well because
Of
people
course,
take sides and
of
all
course.
that. So my kind of group shrank. And then I found some new friends, different friends, culturally different as well, which is important to me. Mm-hmm. And then that sort of went along, and then I suppose COVID was a bit of a struggle. I lost, you know, you kind of communicating, keeping up with people there. There was a few people I used to see during COVID. We'd catch up. And there's a few friends that I still see regularly, but there's quite a few that I thought would support me a bit more, would be more interested in what I'm doing, how's it going, and all that.
Nothing. I just have so much.
It's just so
it's so heartbreaking because I know what that feeling is like, and it was only until I, you know, had 4 bridesmaids that I got to pick to be a part of Married at First Sight.
Yeah.
And I know to some people it wasn't a real wedding, but to me it was because, you know, I hadn't been with anyone for that long. So it was such a big deal for me.
Yeah, I understand.
And the fact that they all just dropped off.
Yeah.
I'm like, I asked you guys to be my bridesmaids.
Yeah,
and like now you guys don't even, not only do you not want to be a part of that, which I understand TV is not for everyone, but then to not ever reach out to me as a friend again, I just find so odd.
I had a friend, a close friend, who was going to be my groomsman, and he bailed the day before the wedding.
Oh, Richie.
And I didn't hear from him really. And I saw him the other day, actually, as he was around and we caught up, but it's just, I was very disappointed. So my daughter was my groomsman. That's how it worked out.
Yes.
But he just, and I was like, yeah, right. So, bailed on it.
Yes.
And he had some reasons for that. And I was like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
But then just didn't hear from him.
That's the disappointing
for months
thing,
and months
right?
and months. And I was like, yeah, okay,
Exactly.
that's really disappointing.
Yeah.
Especially since he was on a reality TV show himself about 10 years ago.
Wow.
So he knows, and he was saying, "Oh mate, you got to be prepared. You got to." It's okay, cool. So like he's in my corner. He can.
Yeah.
He's been there. He's done it.
Exactly.
He knows. And it's nothing.
Wow.
But since then, new doors have opened, and I've met lots of new people.
Exactly.
And that's wonderful.
I think that's.
So my circle's kind of is growing a little bit again.
Yeah, that's the beauty of life, right?
With just and the people that I'm meeting, it's so weird. Like I'm not everyone's cup of tea. Yeah? This has been said on the show and all that.
I remember you saying.
Yeah.
I like coffee too.
And the people who come to have approached me and who I'm seeing now, they feel like they know me from the show and they like it.
Yeah.
So they know what they're getting into. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
It's not like some blind date thing, and it's like,
No,
who's this fucking weird guy? What the hell? He's a little bit, they know.
Yes.
And they like it.
Yeah.
So there's a whole lot of ground that's sort of just there. It's really interesting, you know. And they say that, so we feel like I kind of know you, and then they go, oh yeah, okay.
So good.
So that's kind of good, yeah.
You mentioned your daughter as well, who was your groomsman.
Yes.
Like, what do your family think of you being on the show? Like seeing Dad and.
Well, she was the one who suggested it, and because we've watched it together as a father-daughter thing for for years, for 10 years, you know, and because we learn, you kind of watch, and she was 14, 15, 16. Do you like her? What do you think about what this person's saying? Do you approve of that behavior? What do you reckon? It's a way of checking in around behavior, what's acceptable, what's not, what your values are, and seeing things in action. I mean, some things are clearly like no go, but other stuff like, oh, you really like him? Like, I'm not sure I do. Like, what do you see in him? And so we'd have that kind of conversation, which is great. So that was the value of it, as well as the entertainment value as well. So she was like, suggested it, and she was in my corner and supported me.
Yeah, you could see that.
I have two older children who just
they didn't want to.
They just didn't want to bother it. No, they just were not.
They weren't at the wedding, were they?
No, they weren't. No.
Okay.
So they weren't keen, and that's completely fine.
Yeah.
And this is how it is, So,
yeah, that's fair.
And it's interesting. There's some family. I mean, obviously, my ex-wife was not a fan at all. She was actually quite like, yeah, right.
Really? I thought.
No,
correct me if I'm wrong. Wasn't she like telling Andy, like giving her advice?
No, that was my girlfriend. That was my ex-girlfriend.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I was married, and then I had a girlfriend for 4 years.
Yes.
Yeah, she was. She was right in my corner.
She was so supportive.
Very,
I
very
liked
supportive.
that.
Yeah,
we like a girl's girl.
She was super supportive.
Yeah.
And exactly.
Oh,
But the ex-wife wasn't. But some of the family, my in-laws, in terms of sister-in-law, brother, that part of it, they were super supportive. So
that's good.
It's kind of quite interesting how some people were supporting and some weren't.
Yeah.
And I think that I know I grew up in South Africa, so there's a lot of South Africans here who know me and who I know through connections when I was at school with them, or they were at similar schools to I went to, and my parents know their parents. And so there's quite a big community here.
Yeah.
None of them. I don't hear from any of them. Wow. There's no I hear from people that mainly work people as well, that go, Richard, great, good on you. I'm fucking loving you on the show. And all that stuff. But the people that, no.
Isn't that so shocking?
Because there's a... And again, I said this, Alessandra, right at the beginning. People judge you for going on a reality TV show. It's very low brow. It's like, what are you doing? And it's sort of looked a bit down upon and frowned upon. And in a way, it's quite a toxic show. So I mean, I guess it is very salacious and all that. So but so what?
Well, I don't know. I just can't get that mindset. I get it, but I don't. Like, I come from Adelaide, which is a little bit more of a, I guess, small country town mindset, and it is kind of like that.
Yeah, I know
what
Adelaide's
you're
a
explaining.
bit like that. Yeah, Adelaide's a bit like, but old school.
But I'm like, wouldn't you just want to be like happy for someone that's putting themselves out there?
Yeah. And give them, word, give them a call or send them a message or something of encouragement.
Exactly.
Or, because you know
a
them.
Like, a follow. Hey, good job.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Nothing. Yeah.
I think that says a lot more
So
about them.
No, I think so as well. But when you go through it, and as you know, you go through the filming and then you watch the whole thing again, and it's like breaking up twice. the experience, the emotions, the whole thing.
Yes.
It's tough.
It is, isn't it?
And so it would be nice to actually hear from some people,
Yeah,
to go reaching
of
out, going,
course.
hey,
Yep.
looks hard, looks tough, we got your back,
Yeah.
good, well done, mate. And the people who did
Exactly.
it was great. I was like,
Yeah.
fantastic, good on them. So
Yep.
I'll remember that.
Yeah,
if I
of
remember.
course.
But I also remember the ones who didn't.
Me too.
Because I'm a Scorpio. And fuck them!
Oh, the sting of a Scorpio.
Yeah.
No, you're
that
a-
real sting in the tail. It's,
Yeah. I don't want to go there. I don't want to make you over upset, that's for sure. I don't know, you come across as a very positive person and you're also a motivational speaker. Is that what you do? Like what do you talk about when you motivate people?
So I've been doing motivational speaking for about nearly 20 years. In fact, started for free, just, as you do, build it up.
Mm-hmm.
My main talk is actually a talk called Real You.
Okay. We
Isn't
like that. Yeah, no BS.
That's right. Take off the mask. Stop
Yeah.
pretending.
Yeah.
Who's the real you?
Yep.
Look inside.
Yes.
It's in here.
Yep.
It's not up here because there's a voice in our heads, and
Yep.
the voice in your head and my head is not a champion for who we are.
Yeah,
It pulls us
that's true.
down and is full of negative self-beliefs and negative talk and all that.
Yeah.
So that's what I talk about. That's what I
love
address.
that.
But I don't talk about. What I like to do is I give people an experience. I take them like
Yeah.
a journey. So I
Yep.
did one last week. It was 3.5 hours. There was 140 quite young people in the room, and I just took them on this-
140?
and I just took them on
God.
this 3.5 hour journey.
Wow.
And it was great. It was
That's
just fantastic, and it
amazing.
just breaks down. The most important agreements that you make are the ones you make with yourself.
That's true.
I'm no good. I'm not lovable. I'm a
Yep.
bad person. I'm not
Yeah.
all that stuff.
Yeah.
But we don't even know you've made them.
Yeah.
And then let's start talking about them. We don't
Yep.
go around saying, I'm a bad person.
No,
these are
yeah, of
things that
course.
our little secrets.
They're just like ingrained
That's
sometimes
right. That's
as
right.
well.
So
Yeah.
the way is to recognize them and then get them out and share them and talk about them.
True.
It's very
Yep.
confronting. It takes courage
Definitely.
and bravery and often tears as well.
Yep.
Yeah, we had tears last week, lots of tears. That's a good thing because there's nothing more real
Yeah.
than people laughing or people crying or all that. When someone's going to laugh, it's not, should I laugh? Should I not
Yeah,
laugh?
yeah,
Is
yeah.
someone going to judge me? What am I going to look like
Yeah.
if I laugh? You just laugh. You fucking laugh.
Yeah,
You laugh.
exactly.
So I
Yep.
get people into that space where they
I
just
love that.
respond from the heart, really,
Yeah.
not from the head.
Yep.
And they kind of go, well, that's who you are. That's who you are. That's who you are.
Yeah.
They're right at the end. It's like, so who are you? Who are you? Like, what's in your heart? Kind,
Yep.
I'm caring, I'm loving, I'm a great dad. I'm like, that's it. That's who you are. That's who you are. That's it.
Yeah, to
So
the
I take
core.
people to that place.
I love
And,
that.
yeah,
That's
it's great.
so powerful.
Yeah. It's very powerful.
And
It's
very,
very
important
powerful.
in this day and age. Because
Very important.
although
yeah.
it sounds simple, it is extremely hard.
It's very important, yeah.
in the mix of social media and
Yeah.
everything's
Oh,
up front,
that's- Well, I've had to take my own medicine, literally to survive.
We all do.
To survive MAFS, it's been
Yeah.
really, it's tough. And I think it's
Yeah.
tough for everyone. I mean, I think I'm the only
Yeah.
one. I think everyone has had it's tough.
Oh, it is tough.
It's tough.
But I
You
know-
put yourself out there
Oh,
and you
big
cop
time.
so much shit from so many people.
Yeah.
After a week, I just stopped reading all the comments. I just didn't read any of them anymore. I haven't read a comment.
Yeah.
But I kind of know what they are. Every now and then something pops up.
Was it, anything
Then
in
there's
particular
stuff.
that you kept seeing that you were quite hurt by or upset about?
Oh, I think I think the main thing is that so I'm the oldest groom. I'm 62.
Woo.
And I think I go in there with a certain attitude, and then people go, yep, look at him. He's a sleazy, creepy old guy who's leering onto the younger girls. I've been called Jeffrey Epstein. I've been called Harvey Weinstein.
No,
I've
are
been
you
called
serious?
Prince Andrew. Yeah. In comments and
Oh my
stuff.
God.
It's a very easy label just to stick on someone, And it came up early on when I
Yeah.
did that ranking and had that sort of rather unfortunate commentary about, and she's really beautiful and she's got a
Yeah.
good body and just, because I was sort of, it's not a thing I do naturally. It was a very awkward experience, and I probably should have not done it like Timothy did, which would have been a good move. But I did it,
Yeah.
and that's it. Boom, that's who he is, and you can't shake it off. So you get labelled. That's how the world works. People label you, and
Okay.
they've got you in a box, and that's who you are. So that comes up all the time. So I went to some vodka party. Off I went.
Oh my God, yes.
Yeah, and there were a few.
I saw you dancing on the dance floor.
That's right. There were a few.
There was Olivia.
Olivia was there. That's right. There were a few. I don't even really know them, and they were there. So I'm like, oh, hi, hello.
Yeah.
Take a photograph. Yeah, take a photograph. And that's it. Then I sort of danced a bit, and then I went home. It was in Potts Point where I live, just up the road. Then of course,
I think the article
the article is like, Richard, sleep with the younger girls, and it's like,
if I'm correct, I think the article dropped around the same time that photo challenge happened.
Yeah, exactly.
I want to ask you though, because I know you mentioned before you had watched MAFS before. You've been a massive fan of the show. And as someone that has gone through that experience and has had trauma from that specific challenge.
Why did I do it?
Yeah, why didn't you put Andrea
because
first? I understand you wanted to be honest.
Yeah.
Right?
So I thought I'm going to play the game and stick to the rules. That was my first thing, and I go and do what they want to do. I was very so I did that. That was my first thing. Okay, I'll just be straight honest.
Yeah.
Andy and I were so strong and getting along so well.
I know.
I didn't think it would matter. My bad. Okay.
Richie, I know.
She could have put me last. I wouldn't have given a shit. It was like,
really?
I wouldn't have, it's just not a thing,
Yeah, okay.
And I did 2 rankings, actually. I had a ranking based purely on looks.
Okay.
And then I did a ranking on attractiveness, who I'm most attracted to, and then I put it first, But of course that didn't make any cuts. And that's fine, Yeah. So that was definitely, that was like, yeah, right. And everyone said that. Even my daughter said that. Like, what were you doing, man? Just put them first, It's like, okay, fine.
But not because you want to be deceitful and lie. It's more about you're in this experiment to make this connection work with this person. So really you shouldn't have eyes on anyone else.
Yeah, that's right.
Or you do a Timothy approach and be like,
that's
I'm
right.
not
Don't
going
to
do this.
Yeah.
It's not in alignment with my beliefs.
Yeah.
I know. I'm not going to lie. I was slightly disappointed in you.
Yeah. No, I get that. I get that. But there was even when I did that, Andy was like the standout person for me the whole way through.
Yeah.
So I wasn't interested in anyone else at any point, at any stage.
Yeah.
It was not even an inkling of that.
Yeah,
So,
but I think that's why I was even more disappointed because I could see in your eyes you were just so smitten and you just you said I loved you, like straight up.
Yeah, I was. I was really,
You were so in love and your connection was real, and I felt like out of all the couples on this season, that connection was by far the realest. I felt anyway.
Yeah, at the start. Yeah, it was really strong. Yep.
And then something happened.
Yep.
What was it? It just felt like everything was great, and then it wasn't.
That was obviously the beginning of it. But was that alone a deal breaker? Maybe it was. Like I don't really know. I expressed a view on the show as to what I think happened, and he didn't like that or agree with that. So I'll just leave it. I'm not going to talk about it again. There's no point.
I don't want you to,
and that's completely fine. And
but maybe just give a bit of context to the viewers, because it just looked like everything was all rainbows and butterflies, and then all of a sudden there was a switch.
I think that there was that, and I made some comments during Intimacy Week about, it was quite out there about, what we did in, Intimacy Week and used, language that upset Andy, and she was like, oh. So that happened like really early on in the piece.
Yeah.
So then her bubble burst, okay? And Andy,
I can understand.
Andy has bubbles, and that's what she does, and she makes a bubble, and the bubble bursts, and that's cool. And I got that and understood that, and so Rich, you need to, it's okay, fine. So we had weeks, weeks and weeks of me then, just being really kind, not, didn't go there again, didn't talk about our relationship in that way. I've learned my lesson here. And was just being super supportive, nice guy as I could be, and it just never moved forward,
Yeah.
And there wasn't much going on, and so in our relationship, so the focus was on the other relationships, I guess. So our story was a bit. Some people have said to me, so like, a bit of what happened to your storyline?
Yeah.
And it's like, well, there wasn't much going on really. Andy was sick for a week.
You were sick too?
Pneumonia for 2 weeks.
I know.
So that put us out for 3 weeks towards the end as well. So, then we sort of just fell under the radar a bit. in the real world, we would have dated for 10 days, maybe 2 weeks, and probably called it quits because, I would have picked up a bit of a vibe, but she wasn't that into me anymore and something, and we'd have gone, listen, maybe she would have gone, yeah, okay. But it's MAFS. You don't do that. You know, things can change in a week. You hang in there. You work it through. You work it out. Yeah. And so that's what we were doing. And we had weeks and weeks of that going on. And I think I was very patient and very supportive and just kept it light and fun. It was easy being with her. She's a great fun person. We got on super well. We had a lot of laughs and fun together.
I know.
But the intimacy was not coming back. And so, and then that started bothering me, like, right towards the end. And then I started raising it and saying, hey, well, what's going on? What's going on? Because, it's just, I didn't cut. Was that it? Was it the ranking and the fact that I just swore on the couch once? Is that it? Is that the whole... Was that the end of it?
By saying that, Richie, I feel like it's kind of squashing her, what you call a bubble, like, and dismissing how she's feeling. Yep. I don't want to lecture you. I'm just kind of tell you from a woman's point of view, and because I went through something very similar, as like Cody said. He wasn't attracted to me because I was Asian. Yeah, he also put me second. I had blow after blow, and I wouldn't say I was super confident. But I had my wounds going into the experiment and I was quite open that I was bullied and always the odd one out because I was Asian. And then he went there with that comment and then put me second. So I think those things do add up. And I think women are a little bit more sensitive when it comes to
of
looks,
course. No. I completely get that. Yeah. And I got that. And I copped it. I took it on. I apologized.
You were good.
I said sorry. And then I changed my behavior. And then I was just, patient and nice and supportive and there and okay. And let's wasn't no expectations, wasn't putting anything. I was like, let's go. And doing what I was advised to do by the experts, what Andy asked me to do as well, and
true.
And I did that, and I did it for weeks and weeks, and then it didn't change. So nothing was changing. So now I'm going, okay, so is it still that? Is that it? The bubbles actually burst. Like in week 2 and week 3, and they're never going to come back.
Yeah.
Or is there more to it than that? Or
I think those things are hard to just skip past. So I know I struggled, and I was constantly asking John, Alessandra, and Mel, like, I can't just let this go. Like it does, stick with me for a little bit. Like I can't get those words out of my head. And I remember, Cody also said, it's like my schlong doesn't coordinate with my head when I look at you. And when we were intimate.
Is that what he said?
Yes.
Okay.
On our honeymoon.
Yeah, wow.
And then when we did do the intimacy week and then we finally were intimate eventually, he told the group at the commitment ceremony in front of the experts, and he was like, so we shagged. And I was mortified because I was like, my family are so traditional. My dad's going to be listening to this. He already does not approve. And I'm like, oh my God, my boss, my clients. Like, I was freaking out.
That's exactly why Andy was mortified as well.
Exactly.
And that's what she said to me. I got a career, I got clients who watch this, I've got family who watch it.
Yeah. No, I understand.
So it was intimacy week, people were talking about, prostate massages and golden showers. And so if there was ever a time to kind of just, okay, well, let's just put it out there in a fun, boisterous way, that was the time to do it. Yeah. But I wouldn't have done that again, no. If I had my chance over.
So, is there anything that you regret? That you would take back
those are the two things. Those are the two
okay.
things. The picture ranking and the comments right early on in the piece. Of course, those are the two things.
Yeah.
If I hadn't have done that, would things have been different and worked out differently? I don't know, actually. I don't know.
I felt your connection was so real. And
it was real. Yeah. Our honeymoon was amazing. Absolutely amazing.
Oh, your wedding.
Such a good time.
You guys both looked amazing. And even when you got dressed up in your wedding outfits.
Yeah, that was cute.
So cute, you guys. I love you love dancing, obviously. She's quite quirky. She gets into it as well.
Yeah, she gets into it. Yeah, she's got this.
That's when you guys thrive, with her boots and stuff.
Funny dance she does.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah, which is cute,
Was there anything that happened during the show that you thought was going to air that didn't air between you and Andy, or anything in general?
Well, there were some really good things that happened that didn't go there. We had, when, they do the align your values. That whole thing, blind and what your values are. My top 3 values and bottom 3 were exactly the same as Andy's.
Yeah, they were.
Exactly the same. So that would have been kind of nice.
Yeah.
Things like that. I sort of forget now. But the thing that was omitted also was, so right at the end, the reunion, they filmed 6 couples.
Yes.
Highlight reels, and then they only showed 5. So they didn't show ours. Ours didn't make the cut, but it did on the night. So I'm like,
yeah. Well, even Jade and Ridge, they made it right to the end. They're still a couple now, and they didn't even get any
they
time.
didn't get it. Yeah. So 6 couples that we did, and they didn't show that. So that didn't make the cut. Yeah. So that was like, okay.
That's disappointing.
Kind of interesting.
Yeah. And I barely saw you at the dinner party, at the reunion as well. Hardly.
But there was too much other stuff going on.
Know.
I was not. My business is my business, and Andy's business, and not anybody else's business.
Yeah.
I'm not jumping in and diving in and calling out people and commentating on other people's relationships, and I just don't roll like that.
No,
every dinner party, I was literally sitting right at the end of the table. So they knew that. Who do they put in the middle? The people who are going to... So I was at the end, every single dinner party. Because I'm that guy. I'm not going to sit there and get all like that. And I don't like that sort of confrontation anyway.
No, you don't.
But I also don't like just criticising people and being judgmental. And it's just not what I like to do.
Yeah.
There was a lot of that going on,
There was.
And also about halfway through, I was like, I'm sick of all these other relationships. I don't give a stuff about your stupid relationship, But that's all you talk about.
I know. It's draining, isn't it?
Yeah. It's the same stuff.
3 months straight.
All the time. You can't talk about anything else. It's just talking about your relationship, how you what do you think? I heard someone said this, that you did this, it's like,
It's like high school again, isn't it?
Yeah. It's just really, I don't play that game very well.
Yeah.
No, so.
Was there any couple that you thought, you guys, you need to just hand in the towel and just go? Like, why are you still here?
Ooh.
Deep breaths.
Well, I think there was... I think people are there to have a relationship, and part of the relationship is intimacy and being intimate.
Yes.
There was a number of couples who were not intimate throughout the whole time who stayed as long and even longer than Andy and I did. And you know who they are. Yeah. And it's like, well, how did they get to stay on an experiment that's about love and intimacy, and they didn't have any of it, And now the story is, we're all great friends, and that's what we all got out of MAFS. And it's like, okay, well, let's do another TV show for that called Friends at First Sight or something else. I don't know. That to me seemed like that they were somehow cheating the system a bit because they weren't really... committing in the way that, like, for example, Andy and I had.
I agree.
And a lot of couples in the beginning had been intimate and made love on their honeymoon and this and that, and it was all kind of, and then they went through all the roller coasters. But some couples never
just
even got that far.
I know.
Didn't even kiss.
I know.
Didn't even sleep in the same bed.
I know,
and it's
right?
Like, so what's that about?
I found that
really?
so odd, and I feel
so
like
I found that a bit strange, to be honest.
As a viewer, and someone that has been a part of it, I was like, this is weird. This is like a record for MAFS for the lack of intimacy. Like,
probably
hardly anyone had
in a
sex.
way,
Yeah, it was literally friendship.
Yeah, there's a lot of couples that didn't have sex, actually.
Yeah.
Well, some left early, and it was lots.
Yeah.
Think about it. Yeah. It's quite a few.
Yeah, I reckon half, at least half, I'd say, didn't. And not that you have to have sex in order to have a healthy relationship.
Intimacy. Like you're sleeping together, there's a closeness, there's a, and it's not just a friendship, but it's more than that. It doesn't have to be sex, but it's, like I think that Jack and Tori, they didn't have sex arguably until, I don't know when, but right late.
Yes.
In the experiment. But there was a vibe between them. It was chemistry. There was.
Really?
Yeah. 100%. No, people didn't notice it. People would, I don't know. I noticed it. Yeah, it's kind of this, it was like, when you want to have, let's say you want to have sex with someone, but you delay it and you delay it.
Yeah.
And it's the idea about, it's Winnie the Pooh with the honey pot. He loves honey, but there's a feeling just before he eats the honey that he can't describe, but it's almost nicer than the honey.
Yeah.
That's that sort of
sweet
anticipation.
Yeah.
No, it's the anticipation of what's going to come. I think that's what they did. They had this build up and there was this anticipation. It was there. I don't know exactly what they were doing. They were certainly being intimate though. Yeah. But they weren't having sex per se. Okay. But then they did towards the end, I believe anyway. I think so. And there you go. But there was clearly a build up to me.
Yeah,
whereas in other relationships, there was there was just nothing going on.
Yeah,
it's just like, well, this is not going to go anywhere.
Yeah, because you've been very, very supportive. I've noticed in the media with their relationship.
100%.
So you believe it's legit.
100%. Well, who's left?
So, well,
What do you know? Who's
Eden
left?
and Jaden's just broke up.
Yep, they're gone.
So that's gone. Jaden Ridge.
Yep. Well, I get different stories every day about Jade and Ridge. I don't know. Like, I don't know if they're still together or not.
So,
That Jade was seen dating someone and Ridge was seen dating someone and then they're together and then they're here. Like, I don't know what's going on there. But let's assume they are.
Yep.
Them.
Jack and Tori.
Jack and Tori. That's it. That's it.
That's it?
That's it.
Is there any more?
No,
Elle
but
and Jono?
No, they weren't matched on the show. Come on.
Yeah.
So that doesn't count.
Okay. But when...
It doesn't count. I mean, I think they are together, yeah. So good on them. It's the same as Evelyn and Duncan from last season as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, the big, but they weren't matched on the show.
True.
So in terms of who was matched on the show, and who's
that are still together.
like, not still together. I mean, she's packed up her life. She's moved to the Gold Coast. They're living together.
Yep.
They went through hell.
They did. They really
did.
did.
They went through hell. This experiment is not designed to work. You know that. It's not designed to work.
And if it does
if you
work,
come out of that surviving, it's a rare thing, okay?
It's very
so
rare.
from last season 10, 0, okay?
Yeah.
Evelyn and Duncan, that doesn't count because they weren't matched on the show. 0.
Yeah.
Nobody. Season before, I don't, you can go back. There's not many.
True.
You know? And of this season, who copped it the worst? Tori and Jack. Who's together? Tori and Jack.
I know.
Oh, you got to admire that. Like, come on.
I do.
You know?
Yep.
I mean, what do you think it's like for them? You know, and all the media and the commentary they're copying and the criticism and the horrible comments that are made about him and her.
Yeah.
You know, like, surely that's enough to break down what you've got and just destroy you, you know, like, you know, mentally, emotionally.
Did you see any of that, though, when you were on the experiment with them?
Oh, yeah, Jack said, Jack did stupid shit. Jack's banter, you know. Yeah,
he calls it banter.
He calls it banter. Yeah.
Yeah. Did you see it as banter though, or were you like, oh, bro, that's really not cool?
It was a bit yuck, to be honest, you know. But they certainly made a bigger deal out of it, as you know. They take one little thing and they kind of magnify it. So they did that for sure. But and I've said this before. I think what they started to do was, you know, the experts were very, you know, Jack didn't just say these things. That is who Jack is what they were asserting to Tori. Can't you see this, you know?
Yep.
And then all the girls that were concerned for Tori wanted to back her and all that. But meanwhile, they were all sitting in relationships that were completely fucked and going nowhere. So it's like, guys, like, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You know, like what? You know?
Yeah. Yeah.
So for me, I took my lead from Tori, actually. How is she? How does she feel about this? And does she have his back? And does she support him? And she did. And there were times where she was shook and all that, and she did that. But at the end of the day, she stood by her man, if you like, and she had his back, and they went through it together, and she was good with that, and she was strong about that, and that's the main thing. If she was obviously uncomfortable and awkward and being intimidated, and there was then I would have felt differently. She wasn't. Tori's not like that.
She's
strong, man.
I have been saying this
throughout
the whole
with
podcast.
Tori. You know, she's a strong girl. You know, fully, 100%.
Yeah.
And I say that with full admiration for her. And so she just had his back. So I'm like, well, if she's okay, cool. It's you remember the first dinner party where the story came out that about Jack's ex, okay?
Yeah.
And it had come out, and so the first thing was, so we need to clear the air. What's the story, Jack? You know?
Yeah.
In fact, the way they edited that episode was shocking. By the way, yeah, it was really bad.
Yeah.
They left it right till the end of the dinner party. Meanwhile, that was the first thing that came up. And Jack stood up straight away and addressed it.
Yep.
And said, I just want to address this. This is what's happened. Boom, 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 boom. Thank you very much. And then someone turned to Tori and said, how do you feel? Tori said, I'm good. We've talked about it. I'm on the same page as Jack. Don't worry about me, guys. All fine. I was like, hey, cool. That's the end of the matter, you know?
Yeah.
Let's move on. But that seemed to resurface all the time.
Yeah,
I know. Kept on resurfacing.
Yep.
You know, I mean, everybody cops a little bit, and I copped a little bit, and it's when you do, it's really, really tough. They were just, it was every night for them, you know, just about every episode. It was, oh, here we go again. Here we go again. Let's get the punching bag out.
Couldn't catch a break, could they?
Couldn't catch a break. Couples retreat, same thing. It was always something.
Yeah.
Right towards the end, they started to catch a bit of a break.
Yeah, finally.
Well,
I'm glad that they're still together.
Yeah, so am I. Yeah, good on them.
Have you caught up with anyone since?
No, not really. I mean, as I said, I text and speak to Jack a bit now and then.
Yeah. That's just like the friendship that I never thought would have flourished after
the
show.
well, we're not like mates and all that.
Yeah.
But it's like, So you want to talk to someone, yeah, don't you?
Yeah.
Like on the show, who do you talk to? You need to, even when it's going to air and stuff. So when it was going to air, Andy and I were in contact quite a lot, actually, texting and stuff.
That's amazing.
And and so when there was, like the ranking exercise was just, when I watched that, I was like, oh my God, that was fucking cringeworthy. So I sent her a text saying, I'm so sorry. And, so I was, as it was going to air, because I had forgotten how that played out. I was like, oh my God, that's so embarrassing. And we're sort of in communication like that, and then saying how you're going and how you're feeling. And then we had a few chats and things like that.
Yep.
So we did that initially for a bit, but then we kind of stopped talking really.
So now I think
there's no. It's just so interesting at the whole what's come out of this cast is there's a whole group of them, and it's just we're friends. There's this big friendship thing that they've got that's come out of it, and you see the photographs of them all hanging together, doing things together, and all that. I mean, to be honest, I couldn't think of anything worse. You know what I mean? Like, if I saw them, I'd be, nice. I don't want to hang out with you guys, man. I've hung out with you during the filming. Yeah. I've done it. Let's just move on and get on with our lives. I'm meeting other people and new people that are now in my world. I've been exposed, and so people are seeing that, and that's great. Yeah. But there's no, I don't have a lasting kind of great friendship that's come out of the show. Maybe because I am quite a bit older. Like I'm older than a lot of their fathers and parents. Yeah. Not that should be an issue, but it might be. It's like not quite the same.
Yeah.
And also I'm not Aussie. Like I've been here 36 years, so I feel Australian. Yeah. But they were so Aussie, man. Yeah. The Gold Coast, bro, and all that shit,
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what I mean by that.
Totally
and it was
understand.
just like, right. Like, of course it's Aussie. It's an Aussie show. What do you expect?
Yeah, of course.
But I just, so maybe there was, so there were a few things. Culturally, maybe, age, just that,
No, I can
but I got on with
absolutely
everybody. It
relate
was
to this.
nice. Everybody was
of
respectful
course.
to everybody.
Yeah.
And if I saw anyone or they saw me, we'd be excited. I've seen Sarah a few times around Potts Point because she lives there. Yep. But
is there anyone that you're just like, oh, thank fuck, I never have to see you again?
No, it's not like that. No. I don't feel like that about anybody, to be honest. Everybody has their good points and their bad points. That's just life and how the world is. I'd be happy to see anyone, and have a bit of a chat and a laugh and a catch up. That would be interesting. Yeah. I have seen Ben a few times, by the way. Actually, to be honest, I've seen Ben. He lives in Newcastle, and I've got a client up there, so I go up there for work. Yep. And so I say, hey, I'm in town. Do you want to catch up? So he comes over, and we have a bit of a catch up and things. Yep. So I've seen him a bit.
Yeah, we've had Ben on before. I see there's a bit of a TikTok war between him and Jono at the moment.
I mean, like. Honestly, I don't know, man. Yeah, I don't know what I don't know what they hoped, what Ben's hoping or to get out of that. I wouldn't be doing that myself. Yeah. But maybe he's amuses him and makes him feel better. I don't know.
Who knows? Who knows?
I don't know. Like I wouldn't go there. I actually saw Jono making. It was quite a long TikTok comment. Oh, by the way, my TikTok was taken by Channel 9, so I don't even have a TikTok anymore. I don't know how they all got their TikToks. I just don't know. I got really stuffed up on the social media thing. Everybody else seems to have worked their way around it, and now I'm sitting like going, okay, what's going on?
Made a new account, so maybe that's what you need
in their names. It's like, so I've got a Richard Salmon TikTok account, but I can't use it because it's been logged off. Channel 9 are running it until for the May. Yeah. But Jono made that long TikTok about, I understand that you guys might have, watched the show and developed a certain point of view about us, but there's a lot of hate we're getting, and please, and yada yada yada. Yeah. And when I listened to that, I was just like, because I felt like that at times, but not to the extent that they've been copying it. And Elle with her business, and people have been giving it 1-star Googles and ratings. And it's just people have messed up, man. Yeah. So that really. Yeah, I was just really, really sorry for them and really sad for them. And what made me really angry about that was the Channel 9. It wasn't like that. He was not being unfaithful to Lauren while he was on the show with her. Yeah, he was texting her and stuff, and maybe that was a bit, but They met up after the show.
Yeah.
And literally, really, with no partners, honest intentions here, and then kind of fell in love, and then came back like that,
Yeah.
And even that dinner party with them sort of sniggering and laughing and the way they edited that, it wasn't like that. It wasn't like that. It just wasn't like that.
Yeah.
Painted them as such assholes,
Yeah.
That was just harsh.
So, you were sitting, where were you sitting that night? Probably at the end.
So I might have missed a lot of it. It just wasn't like that.
Yeah.
It just wasn't like that. And it was really, but it's a salacious story. It's like, oh my God, so they really, here we go.
Yeah.
And then to get that kind of public, and then because the way they edited the way they behaved at that dinner party, with Lauren then crying and being upset.
Yeah.
And I think that was also slightly taken out of, or edited out of context, maybe, to be honest. And then but it made it look like, as it looked, and it was terrible, and they really copped it, really copped it. That's just horrible.
So Jono isn't really, Elle and Jono aren't what?
No.
They
No.
Jono,
Jono, he was quite assertive. He was outspoken. He had lots to say. He's together. He's worked on his life to be the person he is.
I know. I keep saying that too. Yeah.
And he's quite, kind of calm. And that's his vibe, which I think frustrated Lauren quite a bit. And Jono was like, well, I didn't used to be when I was 20 years ago. I worked to be this person.
Yes.
So I like that about him. And I like that kind of calmness and that sort of strength that he had. And that, because I'm not like that so much. And in fact, I used to think that, when I was trying to work out what's going on with Andy and me, and I thought, in my head, I thought, not that Andy wants to be with Jono, but maybe she wants someone like him who's more calm.
Do you think so?
Well, maybe. Just more calm and just more steady and less like me,
Yeah.
Like a child, because I get like that, but I get excited and I get going.
You're like me.
Get a bit like that,
I
So I used to think, maybe if I was more like Jono, that's kind of something. So I sort of try to dial myself down a bit to be more a calm guy and stuff. But Jono was my kind of reference point.
Really?
For sure. He had that sort of calmness about him and that stability and that kind of strength that came from that. And
Oh, well, I hope.
Yeah, I thought they got a really bad deal at the end there for sure.
Yeah.
In my opinion. Yeah.
Just going back to what you were saying before, I hope you never feel like you have to dull yourself and your shine for anyone.
Yeah, that's a really interesting point, because and that's what I, in my motivational talks, that's, the thing is unfuck yourself. Stop living your life with the handbrake on.
Yeah.
Stop diluting yourself. All that stuff,
Yeah.
So I've lived my life like that as much as I can, within reason, obviously. But I get more and more like that as I get older.
Yeah.
Because when you get older, there's a great freedom, actually, just to be yourself, fuck the rest kind of thing, whatever, you can just, you're the older guy now, like who cares kind of thing. And I went into the show of like full volume. I was like, woo! I was out there, I was in a good space. I was really positive. I was like, let's bring this on. Here we go.
Yeah.
We started off great and all that. I had those 2 moments and it was like, whoa, shit, what's going on here? So I kind of dialed it down, the whole thing. I was like, I'm being a bit too much here. That's what I kind of do. I self-censor a bit. And so I started to dial it down. And that's what viewers missed as well. I was really like that for a long time. And then towards the end, when nothing was really changing, that's when I started, poking the bear a bit and saying to Andy, come on, look, I don't think you're trying. What's going on here? And that's when she got really upset. And then by then I was very emotional. You would have seen I was very distressed. I was very upset. And so when I left, I was... Yeah, in the 3 months, I sort of came in there and came out as like a bit of a shadow of myself. And then I was like, oh, shit.
I know that feeling too well.
Yeah. And moped around. And I think Ben felt the same. He had a pretty bad 2 weeks when he left. And I knew, but he left in a really bad state. You could just see it. I wasn't quite as bad as that, but it was a real down. And I was like, shit.
Yeah.
And I sort of, coming back, getting my strength, I get a bit of mojo.
Yeah.
December, January, then it goes to air.
I know.
I'm going to watch the whole thing again.
As a viewer, I think you're being way too hard on yourself. I didn't get that from you at all.
Huh?
I thought you were chill, you were cool. You were
then I watched the whole thing, was like, oh my God, and here we go again. And then I was really in the slumps, on that and all, and as I think lots of the contestants were, we all, it's hard,
100%.
And, but it's where it ends. It's not ended, but it's where I am now, and that's the most important thing. And so, I think about 4 or 6 weeks ago, you approached me about doing a podcast, and I was not in a good frame of mind then. I was, I was just down. I was just really kind of, and kind of like, what the hell? I don't know. What is this? When you put yourself out there. But here's the thing. So I do branding as well.
Oh, cool.
When you put yourself out there and you stand for something, like all great brands do, like all interesting people do, someone's going to hate you.
Yes.
That's life, you know? So it seems like Taylor Swift has, talked about the haters and all that. I've been talking about the haters for years.
Yeah.
They'll hate you if you're pretty. They'll hate you if you're not. They'll hate you for what you lack, and they'll hate you for what you've got. Fuck them. You know what I mean? There's going to be haters. And the more you put yourself out there, people are just going to hate on you. But interestingly, the number of people who approach me on the street, and you know that, there's a lot, and they all come and they want selfies and stuff, not one hater. Not one hateful, shitty comment, nothing. Everyone is like, oh my God, like everyone's excited and happy, and they want selfies. And if that's, a way I can contribute to making their moment, their day, that's great. Out of a show that's quite toxic, that's a really good outcome. So I've had lots of that, and that kind of, so you go, okay, this is okay, this is good. This is good. These people. And I'm sort of owning really who I am, almost in a kind of new way a little bit, to be honest with you, and it's quite exciting. It's actually very it's very exciting.
So what's up next now,
I
Richard?
don't know. The door's opening.
Are there any doors happening with the love life at the moment?
Yeah. Lots of people, seeing and that. But no, there are doors with the love life. I don't want to.
So you're dating or not?
Yeah,
or you're open to?
No, I'm.
Oh, you're dating already?
Yep,
man moves quick.
Yeah, man moves quick. Man. Well, it's not that quick. I mean, it's been a while.
It's been a while.
It's been 6 months, actually,
But it took me 2 years until I started dating again after the show. I really wanted to immerse myself into my healing and bettering myself. I needed, and I didn't see the trauma and the demons that I had within myself until I was confronted with MAFS. Yeah. So I have nothing but gratitude for that experience.
I had an experience the year before. I won't say what it was. And a lot of trauma came up for me. And so I worked on that trauma at the beginning of last year. When I came back, I thought, I have to work on this. So I worked on the trauma. I did EMDR therapy.
Yes.
Amazing.
Yeah,
and I had
that was life-changing.
I had months of that, life-changing. And it's just like, big weight off and all that.
Yes.
So I went in there really in a good space.
Yeah, wow.
But I think the trauma, the biggest childhood trauma that I have is one of rejection. And I think that came up on the show for me. I felt rejected. There's no doubt. And so I behave a bit like a child. I get a bit like, and upset and emotional and, because it was really a trigger for me. So I'm like, okay, shit, I've still got some work to do on that. But there was something else that came up for me as well. I didn't like, everything that I saw about myself, to be honest. I am very boisterous and quite loud and animated and unusually so compared to, I thought anyway.
Okay.
So I'm looking into that as well.
Yeah.
And I'm doing some work on that because that's the best thing you can do,
Yeah, of course.
When you get put on a show and then you get to watch yourself again, albeit in a very edited, highlighted version, and you sit back and go, wow.
Yeah,
you can almost objectively see things and go. So there's a few things I'm looking at and working on to, call it self-improvement, development, growth, learning.
Yeah.
That's one of the reasons I went on MAFS. So I'm taking a leaf out of that book and working on that at the moment as well for myself.
Amazing.
But I'm feeling really, really, I'm feeling really good about myself, actually.
That's cool.
And
I
really
can see
positive.
that.
And I know that because of how people respond to me. When you're down, people don't respond to you. They don't even recognize you.
Yes.
But when you're out and you're positive
High
and you're
vibes.
right, it's like, and you're open, people see that. And you become open to people and they just approach you.
Yeah.
And it's just happening so much to me. And it's just, I go, I'm in a good space.
Anytime that you bring up Andy, though, I can just feel that there's still something there. Now, a little birdie has told me that after everything aired...
Little birdie?
Yeah.
What?
Did you or did you not ask for Andy back and ask for a second shot?
We had a coffee and I said to her, is there a chance?
Yeah.
Yeah, I did. I asked her that, And
what did she say?
No, and I had to ask.
You
and
had
I didn't
to.
expect.
I'm so glad you did.
I didn't expect her to say yes, but I still had to ask. Otherwise, you die wondering. Because when I saw her, like I hadn't seen her for a while, and she rocked up. Like I was really excited. I was like, oh,
yeah.
Yeah. But I think there's. Yeah, actually, it's not going to happen, you know.
Ever? Is that flame officially put out?
I think from her point of view, yeah. I think she'd just she'd laugh, you know, if you like what the thought of it, you know. I think she read. I think somewhere she said on a podcast or an article, she said, if I date another guy and he turns up wearing a scarf, I'm going to fucking run a mile. I'm like, okay, that's it, I'm done. The scarf guy.
What is with the scarf, though? Tell us.
The scarf?
Yeah.
It's a comfort thing. You know, Linus from Peanuts.
Yep.
He's always got a blanket. So it's that.
And I know women, we have long hair because that's a little safety blanket as well.
That's a thing.
So that's yours.
And in autumn, you know, it's cold, is it hot? I'm not too sure.
Yeah.
So I kind of wear it for that.
Yep.
I smoked for 40 years. I'm now a vapor, but I'm vaping through with prescription and all that.
Okay.
So I have a bit of a cough that comes up sometimes. So, so I use the scarf for that. And I use it for just a bit of colour, you know.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah. I was on Saturday. I was with a friend. She was in the back of my motorbike. We were driving around, and I had my scarf with me.
Yep.
And it was quite cold and wet and miserable. And she ended up wearing my scarf because I said, you have it, and she just loved it. I was like, oh my God, this is fantastic. I was like, you just feel warm and snugged up, and so it's just it's useful.
Yeah.
And in summer, what do? It's my sarong on the beach. You know, so it's multi-purpose. Yeah.
I think you're gonna set a trend.
Yeah. So I have lots of them. Yeah. I don't know. I'm not sure I'll set a trend, but anyway, I have lots of them. Yeah.
I have one last question.
Yeah.
So when I was watching the whole reunion and even one of the dinner parties as well. Because there's this one female contestant. I was like, oh, I really love this one and I hope I get to chat to her one day, is Cassandra.
Yep.
She was quite, I don't know, chill and laid back, and she's always got this beautiful beaming smile.
Yep.
But there were a few times where she spoke up and it just seemed not aligned with like how she was portrayed on the show, because she was always like bubbly and fun, and then all of a sudden she's going at Sarah.
Yep.
Like, what happened there? What was that? You were there, so can you tell us a little bit more?
So we were there when she spoke up in that way. Andy and I would look at each other and go, Cass.
Yeah.
Not because she was going Sarah, but because she was really speaking up.
Yeah.
It surprised us the first time we were like, just go, Cass. Here you go. You know, oh, here we go. And then it happened a few times. So
because she did it the first time at the dinner party with Tim's smug face to Tori.
That's right.
Remember?
Yeah.
And I was like, go Cass. I'm like, cool. Maybe we might see a little bit more of this. And then we didn't. And then it was only until the reunion she did it again, but with Sarah. So I was like,
that's right.
Was there more beef with the girls or something? Like,
no, I just think she just doesn't like people being inauthentic and full of shit, you know? And she just felt that that's how some people were being, and she just called it out, you know?
Wow.
Yeah, 100%. Just called it out. You know, people are interesting. I mean, she presents in a certain way, quite demure, quite, you know.
Yeah.
But if there's something she's got to say, she'll say it.
Well, I love that too.
Of course,
but I just thought, was there something else, like something more that we didn't see?
No, I don't think so. I don't think so. No. Right. She just had a personal view, I think, and feeling about Sarah, and just wanted to call it out.
Yeah.
I mean, Sarah's a complicated, lady. We're very similar. We're very similar. We're quite loud as well and quite animated, and we have that in common,
Yeah.
And it gets often misinterpreted as being aggressive and hostile and nasty. And it's not. It's just how I am. It's how she is as well. We talked about that quite a lot, Sarah and I, actually, as something we had in common.
Yeah.
And, and she got herself into some hot water a little bit,
Yeah, a lot.
And I think, that's when... And the guys were quite outspoken about that as well, saying, come on, Tim, you can do better. And there was lots of, commentary like that. Again, I never commentated on that. It's not my business to make comments like that, really? Like, you don't know. I mean, how can you say that,
I know.
Anyway, they all did. And so maybe with that, Cass just perhaps took a disliking to Sarah, and saw something that... through her third eye that she didn't like, and then just thought, okay, I need to call it out. And so she did, and that's fine, I guess. It's all part of it.
Interesting.
It's tough, though. Oh, man.
It is. Would you do it again? Would you do any other TV shows or...
What do you think?
Well, maybe not to find love. What about I don't know,
What?
like Survivor or something?
I'd
SAS?
die on Survivor. I'd die on those shows.
I'm a celebrity, get me out of here. I could see you doing something like that for charity.
We were watching The Block
Oh, yeah.
when we were doing MAFS filming, and I said, we're watching The Block. And I said to Andy, I'm not very practical. I'm not a builder, whatever. I said, that's just that's a hard work, tough show, man. Imagine being on The Block. All we got to do is eat, sleep, and fuck. So that was our little private joke, and we laughed about that. It was like, hey, how good is this?
Yeah.
It's not quite. That was early on, so okay, watch the space. So it's harder than that, But The Block also has its emotions and its ups and downs
It's
and dramas as
draining.
well. But there's a lot of hard work and effort. So that kind of show
definitely.
is Survivor and shows like
But also with those shows, they win money and stuff, whereas MAFS, I remember reading an article when you were complaining about the money that we were getting. We only got like $150 a day.
Yeah, that's
Meanwhile,
right.
we still have to pay our mortgages, our rent.
That's right.
We got to supply ourselves with clothes. They don't supply us with any of our clothes.
That's right. That's right.
Hair, makeup for the
hair,
girls.
Makeup. Yep, exactly.
Yeah,
No,
because
that's right,
you were
that's
in
right.
a little bit of a compromising financial situation post-show, like after everything aired, right?
Yeah, no, it's just because my work goes. So you come out. It's sort of October, November. That time of year, November, December, is off peak for me for work.
Oh, okay.
Plus, I've been out of the loop for a few months. I come out. January is off peak as well because until Australia Day, and then suddenly things slowly start picking up. So if you add all that up, I mean, I had bits and pieces, but no big chunks of work. It's about 6 months. Yeah,
that is.
Yeah. It's a long time.
So
it's a long
no
time.
more TV shows for Richard?
Probably not.
No,
Probably
okay.
not. But if
Okay.
somebody approached me with an idea or said, I'd have a conversation, of course.
Yeah, you'll
of
be
course.
open to it. Yeah.
Yeah, you got to say, let's have a chat. Sure.
Yeah. Well, I hope I get to see you on our screens again. You were fun to watch.
Was I?
Yeah, and I'm sorry it didn't work out with you and Andy.
Yeah,
but despite what you think, I genuinely think she was still into you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
I think there might be that wound within yourself with that
rejection.
rejection.
I think if she was still genuinely into me, I probably then didn't give that a chance. So I'll cop that as well. Towards the end, like I was, I think both of us are in a way equally responsible for what happened, possibly.
Yeah.
But then I step back from that and look at the whole experiment and go, is this thing actually designed and created for relationships to flourish and last?
No.
Not really. No. And if you do, you good on you, and you're very fortunate and blessed.
Yeah.
So
would you recommend it to anyone else now that you've done it?
To find love?
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
No, I recommend it as a life experience. Something to do, something different, something that will, challenge you, stretch you. Depends who you are. It's not for the faint-hearted. That's for sure. And if your main priority is to find is ready to find love, and literally that was mine. I went in there. That was my number one, like by far. I wasn't interested in anything else. I wasn't interested in Instagram followers. I mean, that was the thing for me.
Yeah.
No, that's not going to happen. Not because I wasn't successful, because it's just tough. It's just too tough.
I know.
What you go through and the scrutiny you come under. And the pressures, and it's very unnatural, to be honest.
Yeah.
I mean, imagine going to a dinner party and all you do is talk about your relationship and everybody else's relationship,
It's not
So you go to a
natural at
friend's
all.
dinner party and there's like 20 people there, and it's like, well, were you guys having sex, or what's going on with you guys? And what about you guys? And I heard the other day that you said this, and it's like, yeah, right, mind your own fucking business, mate.
Yeah.
What do you mean? That's all you talk about.
I know.
It's just not. It's. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how Jake and Tori survived. I have no idea.
I know. Well, I hope you're all the best.
Thanks,
and I'm
Selina.
so glad that we had this chat today.
Thanks
Maybe
for
you might be
having
the
me.
next Australian Golden Bachelor, because I know America's just had theirs.
Yeah. Well, that's what at the end, right at the end of the reunion, when you're saying goodbye to the experts and everyone all hugging and saying, bye, 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 bye. So then Mel says to me, you should expect a phone call, Richard. And I said, yeah, Mel, what for what? She goes, the Golden Bachelor. They're looking for a Golden Bachelor.
Ooh.
I think she was joking, but anyway, she just said that as like, you know. So I know there'd been a show in America with an older Bachelor. It kind of breathed new life into the Bachelor franchise.
Yep.
He was 72, so
well, you never
that
know.
was her. You never know. You never
Watch
know.
this space.
Yeah, right.
Thank you, Richard.
Thank you
You've
very
been
much.
amazing.
Thanks.
I can't wait to chat more off there.
Good.
Thanks for listening, guys. We'll be back next week, hopefully with Taku. Bye.
Reality.